It should come as no surprise to my friends and viewers that trading card games have always had a very special place in my heart. In this series, both Raikourider and myself will be opening 24 packs or one box of a core Yu-Gi-Oh set. Every week we will add an additional core set to our collections, moving in chronological order. We will use these cards to create a deck and then face off against one another in a best 2 out of 3 match, with the winner receiving 2 prizes to upgrade their deck, while the loser receives 1. These prizes can range from wild cards, to sealed product, to starter decks, and more. Every card that has been released will be available to us at least once. However, we cannot rest on our laurels. Between the ever-evolving nature of the Forbidden and Limited list, the cards that we ourselves choose to banish into the Shadow Realm, and even the way the very rules of the game will change, will keep our decks and our duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Well, okay, that last one pretty much was a clusterfuck. But you know what? That's fine. Because we're on to Elemental Energy, and I can't believe I'm saying this because our last set was Cybernetic Revolution, but for the first time in the GX era, we're actually on a set that has a competent set of cards. And what I mean by that is, this set is Elemental Energy. It came out in November of 2005, and this set actually introduced 2 very important things. The first that it released was the Dark World archetype, which has a underlying theme of discarding your cards to get certain effects, whether it be to draw certain cards or to summon monsters and set off other effects that way. The Dark World's entire gimmick wants you to discard your hand, and we have cards that let us discard, so that'll help us out a lot. The other big thing that it released here are more Elemental Hero support. Specifically, we have Elemental Hero Wildheart, which is a good monster. 1500 attack is pretty decent, and it's completely unaffected by trap cards. Which means that this monster is actually a pretty good one to run in, because Rai can't use Mirror Force to clear it out. So this will be something important to pay attention to. Looking at some of the other cards here, Zur, Knight of Dark World, is a standard 1800 beater. That's pretty good to have, and there are some cards that work out with Dark World names, and Zur is a good option for a couple of those to pick up. Scrolling down, we have Hydrogeddon, which is actually a pretty fun card. It is a little on the weaker side at only 1600 attack, but it has a great effect. If it destroys an opponent's monster in battle and sends it to the grave, you can summon another Hydrogeddon from your deck. So you can actually beat over a monster, summon another one, and get another attack off right away. It's a very strong card in that regard. Scrolling through more of the commons, Dark World Lightning is a card that is a little bit bait, but it can be good if it works out. It lets you target a card that's set on the field, you destroy that target, and then you discard a card. Not only does this work out for Dark Worlds, but this lets you help deal with some macro. However, there is one caveat to this. This allows you to chain to that card. So if we target a card that gets activated in response, then Dark World Lightning's effect actually fizzles, and we don't get to discard. It is a bit of an issue in that regard, but if we could get it to go off, that usually basically says destroy a card, and then get one of your best effects off. Scrolling down a little more, we have Dark Deal, and this is actually one of my favorite cards for the Dark World archetype. If your opponent activates a normal spell card, you pay 1000 life points, and the effect of that normal spell card gets changed to your opponent discards a random card. Which again basically means you get to set off one of your really strong effects. And if Rai has something like, say, Harpy's Feather Duster, we could chain this, protect our back row, and discard a card. Which is pretty good. There's also some good Ojama support in here. Oja Magic is here. If this card goes from your hand or field to the graveyard, you can add an Ojama green, black, and yellow all to your hand from your deck. Now, once again, this works out if you discard it for cost. This works out if you discard it for an effect. So I could dump this for Graceful Charity, for example, and get 3 cards for it. And then we have Oja Muscle, which is also a very fun card to work with. If you control an Ojama King, then you get to destroy all Ojama monsters on the field except King, and then that King gains 1,000 attack for each monster that was destroyed. Now here's the best part. Ojama tokens summoned from Ojama Trio count. So you could activate this card, destroy those tokens, deal 900 damage to your opponent, and then your King gains 3,000 attack. And the best part is, it's gaining the 1,000 attack permanently. It's not until the end of the turn. That is a huge benefit. Up in the rare slot, really there aren't a whole lot of cards that we want to see. There are 3 of them though that are pretty good. Brow Huntsman of Darkworld has an effect where if it gets discarded by a card effect, then you draw a card, and then if it was discarded because of an opponent's effect, you actually draw 2. So if you manage to get this card discarded because of an opponent's effect, it's Pot of Greed, and if you dark deal it into your graveyard, then it's basically breaking even. But that's still drawing 2, and that's a pretty good effect. Brawn, Mad King of Darkworld, is a rare that we really want to see if we're going to run the Darkworld strategy. It's an 1800 Fiend, which is really good, and if it deals battle damage to your opponent, you can opt to discard a card from your hand. So what this means is we could dump something in our hand and get the effect off, like say, for example, Silva. Silva, Warlord of Darkworld, is one of the 2 boss monsters for the archetype right now. If it's discarded by a card effect, you special summon it, and then if it's discarded from your hand by an opponent's card effect, your opponent has to return 2 cards from their hand to the bottom of their deck, which is a really, really solid effect, and something that if we could get this off, this generally means we're going to win. And then looking at the hollows, there's actually a couple of decent ones. First off, we have Gold, Woo Lord of Darkworld. This is the other boss monster that we really want to see. And it is a super, so it's not going to be as easy to find, but it is a possibility. If it's discarded by a card effect, then you summon it, and if it was discarded by an opponent's card effect, you could actually target up to 2 cards your opponent controls and destroy them. So this is pretty good. And the other big one we want to see is Pot of Avarice. This card only works if you have 5 or more monsters in your graveyard. You could target 5 of them, shuffle them into the deck, and draw 2 cards. Now, this is going to be a really good card for later in the series as well, because you could pick monsters that go to the extra deck, shuffle those back up, or more specifically, add them back, and then you draw 2, and you get your bigger monsters back. There is only one big caveat to this though, and that is all 5 of the monsters have to be in the graveyard upon resolution. And what that means is if later on Rye manages to chain something like a DD Crow and banish a card from our graveyard, then the effect will fizzle entirely. But that being said, it's a good card nonetheless. And for our ultra rares, we have more elemental hero fusions. If we hit any of these, that'll be nice. The big one we really want to see is Elemental Hero Shining Flare Wingman. Now, most people probably are wondering why, because this requires Elemental Hero Flame Wingman in order to summon it, which we do not have. But, here's the fun part. It requires Sparkman and Flame Wingman. It only has the requirement of being fusion summoned and not being summoned other ways. So, what we can do is, we can summon this monster by using Sparkman and King of the Swamp, Goddess with the Third Eye, any of the other fusion substitutes. We could use those as our material instead, which makes things a lot easier. And this one's one of the best hero fusions there is. It gains 300 attack for every elemental hero that's in your graveyard, and if it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, it has Flame Wingman's effect of dealing damage equal to that monster's attack. So if we hit this, that's going to be a very big benefit for us. Now, normally this is the point where I talk about the forbidden and limited list. However, there hasn't been any change to the list yet, so we're going to go straight into the pack opener now. And hopefully we pull something good. Alright, so 24 packs of Elemental Energy. I'm really hoping primarily to see a Dark World core. The Elemental Heroes would be a good secondary. Alright, so let's flip these up and see what we start with. And, okay, right off the bat, not actually a bad start. We get an Elemental Hero Wildheart, which is good. We have an Oxygadon, which is a pretty decent 1800 attacker. Familiar Possessed Wind and Asa, which are both 1850 attackers. That's pretty good. Gateway of Dark World's pretty good to have. That's going to let us get Dark Worlds from our graveyard, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, that's what it is. And this is actually good because this, if we get a couple of Azures, this will be a good target. That'll be a good target for this card. And VW Tiger Catapult's a decent card as well if we could get the pieces for that. Second pack's still going strong. We got another VW Tiger Catapult, which is good. We have an Oja Magic, which is good. We really wanted to see at least one of these. Second Wildheart, our first Zur, which is really good. A V-Tiger Jet, so that's good to start with. And Level Limit Area A is actually kind of interesting. It's the opposite of Level Limit Area B in that all face-up level 3 and lower monsters are forced into attack mode. So the weenies are actually going to be forced to fight in this regard, and that's actually a good way to force some damage on as well. So, yeah, 2 packs in, we're actually starting pretty good, and holy hell, super rare right on the third pack, which is kind of nice. It's BES Tetran, which, if I remember correctly, is not as good of a card. Yeah, that's right. It requires to be normal summon to get the 3 counters, even though it has a higher defense, so if you tribute set it, you don't actually get the counters. But it does have the effect that once per turn you could discard a counter off it to destroy a spell or trap on the field, which, yeah, it's not the best monster, but hey, a free once per turn MST is a pretty good effect. Looking at the rest of it, we have a second Zur, which is good, another Oja Magic, which is kind of nice, Familiar Possessed Area is pretty good, and a Hydrogeddon, so that's a pretty good pack to work with. Okay, so that's a Cyberblader. That's actually kind of neat. So this is actually a monster that requires Etoile Cyber and Blade Skater, both of which are in this set. Unfortunately, this does carry the dreaded can only have the above material monsters, so we can't cheat with it. However, it does have 3 really strong effects. If the opponent has only 1 monster on the field, this card can't be destroyed by battle. When the opponent has 2 monsters on the field, this monster's attack is doubled. And if your opponent controls exactly 3 monsters, you negate the effects of your opponent's spell and trap and monster cards. So if they only have 3 monsters on the field, this basically shuts down everything on the opponent's side, which is really friggin' strong. And the best part is, we can potentially try to cheat this out with, say, Metamorphosis or something. But, I don't know. This is a bit of a tough one, but this is a pretty decent pull, and at least it's an option. Meanwhile, we also see a Dark Deal, another V-Tiger Jet, which is good. We see Beige, which is actually pretty good, because if I remember correctly, yeah, this is one where if it's discarded, you just special summon it straight from the graveyard, which is really nice. And then more Familiar Possessed, which is good. So overall, really strong pack here. Only a 1/4 of the way through, and I'm already happy with what I'm seeing. And holy shit, that's a pack. Okay, so another Wildheart. I think that's our playset now. Another Oxygadon, which is good. Silva, which is really, really good for the Dark Cores that we want to see. And an ultimate rare Elemental Hero Tempest. God damn, $500. If only this were a real pack, this would be something. And honestly, this isn't a horrible card either. It requires Avion, Sparkman, and Bubbleman, but you could choose to protect a monster by sending another card you control to the graveyard, and that monster gets protected from battle. So basically, if you have other cards on the field you're willing to sacrifice, this thing can, we could keep this card from getting killed in fights. Now, granted, 2800 makes it hard for them to beat over anyway, but still. Wow, that is a hell of a pack. Okay, and the hits just keep coming. Ultimate Rare Water Dragon. Now, admittedly, now, the reason I say it's a hit is because it is a super rare. That being said, I probably won't use this card. You have to use Bonding H2O and use 2 Hydrogeddon and 1 Oxygeddon. But overall, it's actually a pretty decent card. It's just that it requires a lot of hoops to get through. So I don't know. But another card we picked up in here as a common is Branch. And this is actually a card that, growing up, I never really paid attention to. But looking at it now, it's actually not that bad. If a fusion monster is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the grave, you can actually pick one of the fusion monsters materials that are in your graveyard that was used for that summon and summon it back to the field. So like for example with our Tempest, if we lose Tempest for any reason, we could bring back, say, Sparkman, which actually isn't too bad. Kind of a nice little pickup there. First turn of the box, this is actually working out pretty well for us, and I'm already a lot happier here than I am before. Okay, so next pack, Chthonian Polymer is actually kind of interesting if Rai decides to go into fusions. That might be something for our back pocket. Another level limit area A, and level modulation. Okay, guys, I'm going to go into a quick little rant on this card. This card sucks because of multiple reasons. First off, your opponent draws 2 cards. The fact that you're going and giving your opponent 2 free cards is already a horrible thing in the first place. Second, this card only lets you summon a level monster from your graveyard, which isn't already good, which again, most level monsters aren't even all that good. That monster can't attack or activate its effects during this turn. And here's the fun part. Here's the kicker. Yes, it says ignoring the summoning conditions, but here's the annoying part. If you didn't summon the monster out properly to begin with, so like say if it's a Horus level 8 in your graveyard that you discarded, you can't bring it back. Even though this card says ignoring the summoning conditions, it ignores the conditions on the card, but because Konami decided not to errata this card in any way, and because they worded it in such a poor manner, it actually doesn't let you bypass the game mechanic of properly summoning out the level monster. Which means that, technically speaking, this card doesn't even do what it says it can do. And this ended up leading to a lot of people getting punished at local tournaments and whatnot, just because they understood the ruling different from what it was supposed to be, or more accurately, what Konami was trying to intend. So yeah, needless to say, it'll be a cold day in hell before I ever touch this card in an actual setting. Like, even if I had the level monsters to work with, I will never play this card. And, okay, so getting off of that little rant, another Hydrogeddon, another Oxygeddon, another Dark Deal, which is good, and an Oja Muscle. That's really good. Hopefully we can actually make use of that later on down the road. Okay, so there's another super rare, VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use this because, one, we can't cheat it out like other fusions, and two, this requires XYZ Dragon Cannon, which we don't have, nor do we have the components for that monster anyway. So unfortunately, this is a really cool card, but we are not going to be able to make use of this. That being said, seeing a Brawn is pretty good, because if we could get a couple more Dark Worlds, this can actually be a really strong deck for us. Holy shit. Okay, so we hit a Silva, so that's our second Silva, and we hit a Gold. Oh my god, okay, seriously, I think the Dark World package is pretty much clear for us now. I think the only thing we're really missing are a couple of Brow. Okay, this has seriously gone insane. Now we hit an Elemental Hero Wild Edge. Again, this is one where we don't necessarily have all of the monsters for it because I don't have a Blade Edge, but I can still use King of the Swamp for this, and it can attack all monsters the opponent controls once per battle phase. This is insane, and for 2600 attack, that's actually not that bad. Good God. Like, shit, this is really getting tough now, because now I'm honestly debating whether or not I want to go Heroes or Dark World. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Ultimate Rare Rampart Blaster. So, that's another new fusion, and another good one at that. Also, wait a minute. Water Dragon's marked as rare? Okay, I think the pack opener is kind of messing up, because I know full well Water Dragon is a super rare. I know that. So I'm kind of surprised that it messed up and added that there, but oh well. I guess we have a second Water Dragon now. Not like we're ever gonna use it, but still. Oh my god damn. A second gold? Okay, wait a minute. So let's just do a quick rundown of what we've hit in 15 packs. We've hit a BES Tetran, a Cyberblader, 2 gold, a V to Z Dragon Catapult Cannon, 2 Water Dragon, 1 as an ultimate rare. So, just in supers, we have hit 7. And a Rampart Blaster, and a Tempest, and a Wild Edge. So we've hit 15 hollows of some sort. We've hit 10... Jesus, in 15 packs, we've hit 10 hollows. That's just crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure this makes up for almost all of the bad luck I've had in the last few sets, just in terms of quantity. And honestly, the quality's pretty damn good, too. Well, there's the third Water Dragon we're never going to use, which, yeah, for whatever reason, it's pulling it up as rare. I'm kind of shocked by that, but honestly, I guess we'll say, for the sake of this pack opening, only one of the 3 Water Dragons will count as quote-unquote hollow, given the error. But even still, that's just nuts to think about. And the fact that we hit another Oja Magic is good. Another Oja Muscle, I think that's our third. And another win, and area. So we have plenty of good options out of these packs already. And we still have 8 more packs to go. Good grief. Are you fucking kidding me? We hit 3 gold. We have 3 gold, 2 silver. Oh my god. Like, okay, I swear to god, if we go this route and we lose again, something is just really fucking wrong with me. Like, I am not even joking. Okay, so we have 3 packs left to go, and to be entirely honest, I don't even know what the hell to say anymore. Like, Jesus. We hit 7 super rares, effectively. 3 ultra rares, and it's just like, god damn, what is going on here? I mean, the only thing left I can ask for would be a Pot of Avarice, and even then, I'm feeling like that's just asking too much now. Looking at this, another branch is kind of nice. I think that's our third Chthonian Polymer, so I guess that's an option if we want to go that route. Non-fusion area is actually an interesting card, and potentially a side deck thing to worry about. As long as it's face up, neither player can fusion summon. So what this means is we could summon out something like V-Tiger Catapult here, but we can't summon the hero fusions. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Alright, so second to last pack. A third Silva. Oh my god. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we hit 3 silver, 3 gold. God damn, this deck is going to be, like, constructed. Man, seriously, Rai is just going to shit a brick when he sees this. Okay, so we're on our last pack. Can we hit something? Fuck it. I don't even care what we hit at the end at this point. We've hit some... Are you shitting me? We hit 4 golds? 4 golds! Oh my god! Like, hold on. I have to be. I have to have miscounted this, right? Right? Where's the first ones? Where are the first ones? There's our first gold. There's our second one. There's our third. And our fourth. Pack opener. What the hell is going on tonight? Jesus. Okay, so, yeah, we're gonna have to go into the deck editor and figure out what the hell we're gonna do with this, and I'm just gonna say right now, Rye, I am so fucking sorry, dude. Wow. Okay, so before we get into the deck profile, there is something I need to address. Turns out, in the course of deck building, I learned that I was actually wrong, and there was in fact a new Forbidden and Limited list that released before Elemental Energy. My bad. So we're going to go ahead and just go through the changes real quick, because there actually are a fair amount. This is the introduction, I believe, of the Reaper format, and just take a look at all these changes right here. BLS, Sinister Serpent, Tribe Infecting Virus, Delinquent Duo, Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed, Mirror Force, Ring of Destruction, all getting banned. Magician of Faith goes from 3 to 1, Knight Assailant gets put to 1, and as far as I'm aware, stays at 1 for the rest of time. Thousand Eyes Restrict goes straight to 1, Tsukiyomi goes to 1, Book of Moon goes to 1, and this one hurts, because this one actually stays this way for a very long time. Book of Taiyu goes to 1, which is kind of surprising. Confiscation goes to 1, Dark Hole goes to 1, Limiter Removal goes to 1, Metamorphosis to 1, thank God. Nobleman of Crossout goes to 1, but this one doesn't matter to us. Scapegoat goes to 1, Exchange of the Spirit goes to 1, but neither of us are really using this card, so no big deal. And then Chick the Yellow, Marauding Captain, and Vampire Lord go to 3. So basically for us, really the only thing that matters would be Metamorphosis going to 1, and even that would probably be more of a Rye thing, if anything. Scapegoat going to 1 is kind of eh. And Thousand Eyes Restrict goes to 1 kind of hurts us because we had 2, but realistically it's not that big a deal. So, with that being the case, we're going to go ahead and get into the deck list, and yeah, you should have seen this coming. How could we not? We're going to play Dark Worlds, baby. We've got the GOAT of this. We have, let's go through the card by card. We have 3 beige Vanguard of Dark World. If it's discarded to the card graveyard through an effect, you special summon it. That's going to be very nice. We have Brawn, Mad King of Dark World, 1 copy. Kind of wish we had pulled more than 1, but oh well. When it deals the battle damage, we could discard a card, which means we could special summon beige immediately, or we could even summon out Silva or Gold. 1 Cyber Dragon to help get our monsters out quickly, 1 Exile Force to deal with any potential threats from the jump, 3 gold. This, I really can't believe we pulled 4 of these, but this is going to be a hell of a play. 1 Magician of Faith, 1 Mobius the Frost Monarch, because we could get our monsters summoned, we could use this to pop some back row, and we could go off to the races. 1 Knight Assailant, mostly for the sake of acting as a man-eater bug, but if we need to, we could discard it. We're doing a lot of discarding anyway, so we could use this to get back Magician of Faith later on if we need to. 1 copy of Sangan, because Sangan helps search out a few of these cards, which is kind of nice. Not too many, but enough to make it still usable. 1 Scar, Scout of Dark World. If this is destroyed in battle and sent to the grave, you could add a level 4 or lower Dark World monster to your hand from your deck. So we could search out a beige, we could search out our Brawn, or we could search out Zor. 3 copies of Silva, 1 copy of Witch of the Black Forest, and 3 copies of Zor. For our spells, 1 card is safe return that we picked up from Dark Beginning 1, and this card is going to be insane with this. If a monster is special summoned from your graveyard, you could draw a card. With 3 beige, 3 silver, and 3 gold that can all bring themselves back from the grave, that's going to give this card a hell of a bump. 1 confiscation, 1 Dark World Lightning. Unfortunately, we only have 1, but if we can use this, it'll be helpful. 1 Graceful Charity. Fun fact, Dark World never had Graceful Charity in its pocket, so this is going to be new territory, and this is going to be frightening new territory for us. 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Metamorphosis, 2 copies of Mystic Plasma Zone. The reason for this is actually because notice Gold, 2300. Notice Silva, 2300. Notice the Monarch, 2400. Unfortunately for us, Silva and Gold are good, but they don't get over the big number. So, with Mystic Plasma Zone, these guys become 2800 and can deal with that. 1 Pot of Greed, 1 Raigeki, 1 Terraforming to help search out the Mystic Plasma Zone, 1 Forceful Sentry, and 1 Upstart Goblin. For our traps, we have 1 Call of the Haunted, 2 Dark Deal. The reason we're running these is so that way if Rai plays his Harvey's Feather Duster, we could get rid of it and discard a card we want to discard. And the best part is, because of how Dark Deal works, that means that Silva and Gold's effects will be live, because it acts as the effect of that spell card, not Dark Deal. 1 Magic Cylinder and 2 Sakuretsu Armor. For our extra deck, again, it really doesn't change too much, but we do have access to Guiltia, and we have access to Guiltia because of Metamorphosis, and because Silva is a level 5, Gold is a level 5, and Sidra is a level 5. So we could go into that. We could potentially go into Ojama King if we want to, using Mobius, but probably not going to. We could still go out into Thousand Eyes Restrict using Magician of Faith if we want to. And we also have the Elemental Hero Fusions, though that's mostly just because of the fact that we want to flex on them, because, let's be honest, we hit Rampart Blaster, we hit Wild Edge, and we hit Tempest. We want to show those off at some point. And then for the side, 1 Cypher Soldier. People will probably remember this card as Kinetic Soldier. This will be good if he's running anything Warrior related. It'll gain 2000 attack and defense for that fight. 1 DD Warrior Lady to help clear out opposing threats if we need to. 1 Dark Ruler Hades. Not necessarily fully in tune with this deck, but if we get him on the field, then anything that our monsters attack and destroy, their effects get negated. So if we flip over a Knight Assailant, battling it with our Beige or our Silver or whatever, or a Magician of Faith gets destroyed, this will prevent them from actually using them. 1 Fiend Mega Cyber. Again, we pulled this recently. It's not the greatest of cards, but it basically acts like Sidra, just as long as your opponent has 2 monsters more than you do. The nice thing about this is this doesn't even require us to have an empty field. So if we have a monster and Rai manages to spam, we could get this out. 1 Book of Moon, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Enemy Controller, 1 Swords of Revealing Light, 2 System Down just in case Rai is still on machines for any reason. If he comes to machines, we could work with them. 1 Barrel Behind the Door, specifically to deal with his barrel behind the door. 2 Dimension Wall, 1 Ring of Destruction, and 1 Waboku. So, if we lose this duel, I am going to be confused, because this is probably the strongest deck I could build right now. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give it a go, and it's time to get your game on.
Well, I think you want to play a Dark World Mirror match. You have Graceful Charity. So just so people know, Graceful Charity and Dark Worlds were never legal at the same time for good reason. Mm-hmm. Why do I even try? Alright, I guess I will be on the draw then. Good luck, duelist.
Alright, so draw. Standby main. There we go. This is not a good hand. I'm gonna start with Upstart Goblin.
Finally on the upstarts, I see. I was wondering when one of us was going to play this card.
I'm gonna just set a card and pass.
Interesting. Draw for turn. Standby. Main. I'm going to run out of Mataza.
Alright.
I'm going to activate the Allied Forces.
Oh, okay.
I'll proceed to the battle phase.
Alright, so that'll be
15?
3k.
Oh, just taking it all? Okay. Go.
Alright, draw. Standby main. Okay, I'm gonna start by flipping my terraforming.
Hmm. Plasma Zone? Well, Plasma Zone would be really bad on the sport.
It
What
would,
are you
but
getting? Oh, you have to get it? Ouch.
that's fine though. Okay,
Well, if
well
you're
to
getting
start,
that,
I'm gonna start by summoning out Cyber Dragon.
yup. Sydra's pretty good.
And, well, I guess I'll run out my Zur Knight of Dark World for right now.
It's pretty good also.
Battle. Sidra into your Mataza.
So that will be 6 and 18.
Oh wait, Allied. Oh wow, okay, so Allied is during the whole time. Okay. Main 2. I think I'll just set another card and I will pass.
Draw for turn, standby, main. Set a monster and pass.
Draw. Standby main. Oh, buddy. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to do is... Let's go ahead and just Heavy Storm right now, clear that back row. Or clear your A forces.
I mean, Allied Forces is a card.
Then I'm going to activate Graceful Charity.
Oh no, here we go. Am I dead?
Oh. Oh, goodness. Okay, so
That sounds like I'm just dead.
I'm going to discard / special summon Gold Woo Lord of Dark
Oh,
World.
you got a gold. You got a gold.
And
That's
Gold Woo Lord of Dark
pretty
World.
good. 2 gold? Oh shit.
Then
gold?
Then I'm
Wow.
gonna run out my Witch of the Black Forest.
Wow, I'm super dead. 23, 41. Yeah, I don't even want to show you this card.
Ha ha! Finally.
I figured one of us was going to be on the Dark Worlds at least. I will take play, though.
Alright. God, it felt actually... That right there is why Graceful Charity and Dark Worlds never coexisted.
Yup. Precisely. Draw for turn, standby, main. I am going to set 2, 3, and pass. Set 4. 3 back row is what I meant to say.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. I'll run out a Zur.
Sure.
Not gonna lie, being able to go without worrying about bottomless trapple was kinda nice.
Bye.
Ooh, Old Vindictive, okay. Main 2, I guess I'll just set a card.
Draw for turn, standby, main. Set a monster and pass.
Alright, draw. Standby main. I think I'm going to... Yeah, why not? Let's put some pressure. I'm gonna summon out Brawn.
Brawn, huh?
Battle. Let's go ahead and hit in.
This is my Banisher of the Light. Take 200.
Ooh,
Remember when I said I had a side deck plan for Dark Worlds?
I see.
Nice graveyard, buddy!
Yeah, that's a slight that's a slight issue.
Unfortunately, I can't seem to draw any offense here. Set a monster in path.
All right, standby main. Oh, there's a thought. Does that actually help me though? No, not at the moment. Alright, I'm gonna summon out my Exile Force. And with Prio, I'm gonna go
That's
ahead
fine.
and clear your Banisher.
You got it.
And then Brawn into your defense.
Bye.
God damn it.
Get out of here.
Alright, fine. Main 2, I'll set one.
Wow. I just got to thinking, I should have boarded those out.
Board it what out?
And then I should have boarded the old Vindictives out because of Dark World Lightning, and they just saved my butt. Go.
Draw.
Deck, where are my monsters, please?
Okay, I'm gonna run out my Witch of the Black Forest. And hit for 11.
11 in. 11 in. Draw for turn, standby, main. Thank you.
Ooh, Mataza.
It's a monster.
It is.
Allied forces.
Alright.
Battle phase. Got a T-Roar for me?
No T-Roar.
15 into your Witch, or 15 into your Witch of Black Forest.
I do have
you got
Saku,
sack, huh?
Are you debating on whether or not to, solemn this?
I do have something for this. It's just, do I want to use it? I think this is too much tempo not to. This is a huge amount of tempo.
Alright, so I will take...
So you'll take 4.
And then I get to search.
That's the other thing that's scary, but I still think the judgment there is correct. Because it just... I lose too much tempo.
There's actually one card I really wish I could have... I get search, but I can't at the moment. I think I will add my Night Assailant.
Yep, you're one Night Assailant. You're allowed. Go. Wow, I'm an idiot. I thought I attacked the second time already.
Oh, it's okay. I'll take it.
Thanks.
Alright. Standby main. Well, I'll set a card. Could be anything.
It could go back in your hand. I'm gonna compulse the obvious Night Assailant.
Okay.
Draw for turn. Standby main. Go to battle phase. 15 and 15.
Alright.
Go.
Draw. Standby main. Ooh, there's a card. Pot of Greed, baby.
Ash.
Any response?
No, you're fine. I wished I had an Ash, but that card doesn't come out for a while.
I like what I got, but it's not going to be ridiculously helpful yet. I'm going to activate Terraforming.
It's in that deck.
Alright. So I'm going to set a monster and set a card.
Draw for turn, standby, main. Well, I need to deal with this eventually, so I'm gonna go ahead and just rip the band-aid off now.
Alright. Come on, Dueling Book.
It's pretty obviously the Night Assailant.
Did I disconnect? Uh-oh. Book decided to stop
I'm
acting.
pretty sure.
Oh, come on. There we go. Wait. Yeah, this is the Night Assailant. Come on. There we go.
Yep. Then after combat, I'll set one and pass.
Alright. Once Dueling Book decides to stop lagging, I will take my turn. Draw. Standby main. I will... I'm going to set a card and pass.
Draw for turn, standby, main. I'm gonna run out a Bazoo here.
Ooh. Okay.
Got those out of my Dark Beginning 2-packs.
That's pretty good. Alright, no response.
I am going to banish one.
So he's up to 1900.
Correct. I'll proceed to the battle phase. 19.
Alright. I take it you have the ring?
Nope.
Oh. Okay.
Kind of want to play around Dark World Lightning here, so I'm actually going to flip up my Banisher now. And pass.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't actually do anything right here, so you got game 2. There we go.
It's game 3 we've had in a hot minute.
Oh, yeah.
But if a set was going to turn this progression series around for you, it was going to be this one.
Oh, definitely. Okay, so I get the first turn. Let's see what we get. Okay. Draw. Standby main. I think I'm going to start by just setting and setting a card.
Draw for turn, standby main, Pot of Greed.
Greed is good.
Then I am going to summon a card that I don't think has made an appearance yet in the Progression series. I'm going to summon Magical Scientist.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And then I will, with priority, activate, if that's okay.
That's fine with me.
I'm going to get a copy of Dark Bolter the Terrible, which also came from, I think that came out of my Dark Revelation packs. It was either Dark Revelation or Dark Beginning, one of the two. I did not get this in the Legacy of Darkness opening.
Okay.
Then I am going to proceed to the battle phase. 2K into your set.
You're an ass, you know that?
You gonna sack this?
No. Because you're attacking another monster that hasn't seen the field yet. Cypher Soldier, aka Kinetic Soldier.
Oh, Kinetic Soldier.
If you attacked with literally
sick.
anything else in your deck, that would have bonked against you so hard. And I'll take the 3.
Yeah. And then, and then 300 from the Scientist. Then main phase 2, I'm gonna link these off for Nightmare Phoenix and pass for setting a back row. And then during end phase, this will go back to extra.
Yep. Alright. Draw. Standby main. Well, let's see what you got. I'm gonna start by summoning out Sidra.
You have a Cyber Dragon.
Then, I think I'm actually going to go for a little bit of Mirror Force insurance. I'm going to summon out my Witch of the Black Forest.
That's pretty good.
Alright. Cyber Dragon into your Scientist.
Sure. I will just take 29.
Alright. Main phase 2. I will set a card and pass it.
Draw for turn, standby, main. I am going to cry. My hand sucks. I'm going to set a monster and pass.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. That's not quite what I was hoping to see. Alright. I'm going to set a monster. And then go into battle. And Sidra will attack your defense.
Boy, this does not feel good, but I don't have a choice. I'm actually going to Compulse your Cyber Dragon.
Oh, okay.
That does not feel good.
Well, might as well see what you got. Into your defense.
It's a Banisher.
Alright. I will take 900. Okay, so Banisher is there. That's a slight problem. Main phase 2, I guess I will end my turn.
Draw for turn, standby, main. Let's run out a Sasuke.
Alright.
Proceed to the battle phase. Attack into your Witch.
I'm gonna Magic Cylinder that.
That's pretty good. Go.
Alright, so draw, standby main. I don't like this, but I'm going to flip summon my Knight Assailant. Pop your Banisher.
Sure, Banisher gets banished.
I don't think it does. I think it gets sent to the graveyard.
Why not?
Because it's not on the field. Like, its effect isn't active while it's getting destroyed. Like, since it's leaving the field, the effect doesn't apply to it. Let's see. What do I want to do now?
I thought it went to banish if it was face up, but grave if it was face down. But okay.
I mean, we could double check that later to see, but because I don't think overall it's going to make a difference. How do I want to do this exactly? Well, actually, does it really matter much? Nah, I guess it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tribute the Knight Assailant.
Are you gonna
or
tribute summon gold?
No, I'm going to actually tribute summon Silva.
Oh, tribute summon Silva, same thing.
So, Silva will go into your Sasuke.
So that's 5 and 11. So I go to 7. That's scary.
And I just realized I could have finished the game right there had I played my Mystic Plasma Zone, but oh well. Well, live and learn.
Reading cards! Alright, I need a miracle here. Draw for turn. Standby. Main. I don't think that gets me there. Does this help me? Well, I'm not dead. If I do this, I'm not dead. That's what's important. At least I don't think I die if I do this. Thinking. That Banisher to stay on the table is what I needed.
Oh, really?
And I can't get over the... I can't get over the Mystic Plasma Zone to Silva. It's too big. Recording has started.
Okay. So, this has been a little bit since we've done this, but we get to divvy up some video game promos now.
Correct, and specifically for the Nightmare Troubadour promos, because Silent Magician level 4 and level 8 are useless without each other, we're going to have those as one unit.
Right.
So,
And
do you want the Silent Magicians, or do you want the Magician Circle?
as much as I don't necessarily like the idea of giving you more Dark Magician support, I think it would be more entertaining once... Like, if you end up building that, I feel like it'll be more entertaining to watch. So, I'll take the Silent Magician package and let you have Magician Circle.
Throwing for content, I see. Works for me. And then we also have the Collector's Tins from 2005, which have some pretty strong cards in them.
Oh, yeah. Which, these are actually going to be kind of important now.
Yeah, I think the prime pick here is probably Xarian Universe. I think Xarian Universe is the best card out of these. So if you want it, it's yours.
Let's see. Honestly, as much as Xerian Universe is a good card, I don't really know if I'm necessarily going to want to use it all that often. So, honestly, I think I might actually be more open to taking the Guilford the Lightning one. Mostly to
Okay,
help kind of take it away from you as well.
okay. Well, as much as I would like Xerian Universe for the deck, I think I need to lock this up now, and I'm actually going to go ahead and grab the Dark Magician Girl. That is my third.
Yep, and so yeah, tied that with the Magician Circle, that's going to make a hell of a support round.
Once we get enough DM support, I'm going to make this happen.
I think I'll go ahead and take the Rocket Warrior now for my second pick.
That's
Because,
the other thing I had my eyes on, but that's okay. The reason why I like it specifically is because it's a light warrior.
yeah,
So
that's something you don't see very often, so that's kind of nice.
I'm gonna grab the Xerian universe then,
Alright, and I think my last pick will be the Vorse Raider.
and that leaves me with Panther Warrior.
Alright, so that's our extra cards divvied up, so now we just have to go into actual spins.
We do.
Alright, so now we're into the spins. And you may notice this is the catch-up wheel spin. And the reason for that is because since I was on such a big losing streak, since I finally won, I not only get to spin the regular winning wheel, but I also still get one spin on the catch-up wheel. After that, if I win again, then it's only the winner's wheel that I get to spin. So, I'm really hoping to hit... There's a few things I really want to see, so I'm kind of content with almost anything here. Even the tournament pack wildcard would be something I'd be okay with, so let's give this a couple spins and see what we run into. Oh, that is friggin' beautiful. Because there is actually one thing I really wanted to pick up, and I wanted it as an ultra rare. So for our ultra rare wildcard, we're going to pick up a copy of Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. The reason for this is twofold. The first, this is a really, really strong card. It is the opposite of Chaos Emperor Dragon. And also the big thing to pay attention to is, this is the last set that we actually have access to Invasion of Chaos for wildcards, which really hurts in the sense that there are still some good cards out of this set that I really wanted to pick up later, but we kind of ran out of time, and realistically there's other stuff I want to focus on as it is, so I'm fine with that. But there's also one other thing I really want to try with this card later, and if we could pull the other necessary cards to work this out, this is going to be one hell of a funny play. So, now we just have one more spin to do. Okay, so for our second spin, we're going to go ahead and give it a shot with the sealed product instead of the wild card, because basically, until they run out of our options, I want to try to hit those Exodia pieces. We are missing 2, and I really want to give that a shot, because getting them otherwise is going to be a hassle, and it's going to take a while. So, we're going to hope that we can actually hit that here. Oh, hell yes. Now we have to pray that we actually see them. Okay, so we have 3 packs of Dark Beginning 1. Let's see what we can flip over. Hopefully we hit something useful for us. And it looks like we get the opposite. I mean, third backup soldier is kind of nice, but Fairy Box is banned, so we're going to have to flip another pack to see what we can replace in this slot as a common. And looks like that's about it. Blue Eyes Toon Dragon's kind of funny, though. Alright, second pack. Oh, there's the right leg of the Forbidden One, and another Fairy Box in the same slot. So we have 2 more cards we're going to have to figure out on that one. That's actually kind of funny. Giant Rat's kind of nice, too, so that's nice. So we have one of the pieces of Exodia we're missing. We have one more we have to figure out. What's this last pack? And there's a right arm of the Forbidden One, which is even more hilarious. Ooh, another card to save for turn, though. That's kind of nice. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and see what we're going to hit now, because we have to actually hit 2 more packs and go for the 3rd pack in the column to see what we hit. Okay, so we're going to go for 2 packs. We're not actually going to do it in a group of packs this time. It's just going to be one-offs. But the entire time, this is the only card that's going to matter for these packs. So let's actually flip it and see. And it's a Jam Defender for the first one, which is kind of booty, but oh well. We actually already have a playset of that. So I'm curious, what's the rest of the pack going to be looking like? It would be a Magician of Faith, Mirror Wall. Okay, the rest of this pack's actually kind of garbage. Okay, so next pack. Flip. Ooh, Chain Destruction's actually kind of neat. And we actually don't have a playset of that, so that's kind of nice also. And just for curiosity's sake, let's see what would have been in the rest of this pack. Ooh, Dust Tornado, Axe of Despair. Boy, that would have been kind of nice, but oh well. Alright, so that's going to be our packs for this episode. We'll catch up for next time, and next time is going to be Shadow of Infinity, which I have a feeling is going to be an interesting set for us, so we'll see you next week. Have a great day.